Hello everyone, take two. We got cut off the first time. Crystal here. Happy Wednesday. It's Tea Time Wednesday. Sorry I missed you guys last week. If you are new to this, we are gathering here every Wednesday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's so nice that it's getting darker, so much later now. I'm so ready for spring. Who's ready for spring, especially if you're in New York? It's like the never-ending winter, and we want some nice stuff. Hello, Red. Hello, Laura. Hello, everyone's hopping on. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Thumbs up, hearts, all that good stuff so that we know that connection is good, because I lost you the first time. I am super, super pumped to talk about this all-encompassed, such important topic that needs two parts, because there's no way that I could keep this under 30 minutes, because limiting beliefs and self-sabotage, huge, 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 huge. It is everything. It is everything that we need to learn and understand in order to start making moves in our lives and changing and stop holding ourselves back. So if you are into this, if you are into personal development, if you're into personal growth, or you're into law of attraction, or you're into spirituality, or you're into just getting better, expansion, doesn't really matter what you believe in and how you get there. It's not about that, guys. It's truly, truly about becoming the best that we can be, understanding how we're working, understanding how our mind works, understanding how our emotions work, so that we can start to fix our lives and change our lives and grow and take this journey, right? We're never going to get everything all at once. It's not going to happen. This is a journey. It's never going to be done. Let's enjoy it. Let's actually take control of our lives and start leading the way of how to get where we would like to be, instead of thinking about it, wishing for it, hoping for it, praying for it, and it just kind of keeping eluding us, right? And so in order to start to align with that kind of idea where we can actually start to live the lives that we want, we have to understand limiting beliefs, and we have to understand self-sabotage. And I don't think until that's very clear and that we understand that and then apply certain things, because that's the thing, we might know it, but are we applying the things that we know? Things really stay stagnant, all right? So wherever you are in your life, where it's in your fitness and you're trying to get healthy and you're trying to get fit and you're trying to feel better about yourself, in your finances, in your relationships, be it if you're single, be it if you're in a relationship, your relationship with friends, your family, your career, your business, your goals, right? There's usually four parts, four places, four stages where people are really working on at certain times. Sometimes we're working on both, or three or four, but there's usually one place and area in our lives where it needs the most work, right? So I'm going to give you a few questions to start asking yourself after I talk a little bit about the limiting beliefs and the self-sabotage, so that you can start working on what those things are. I do this with my clients obviously a little bit deeper, but I want you to walk away from this and feel like, at least from between now and next week, when we dive into the self-sabotage part, that there's been some thinking, there's been some marinating, there's been some thoughts about what I'm about to share with you. All right. So hello, Jen. Hello. So first and foremost, limiting beliefs. If you know that you have them, say, I have them. If you know that you have them, if you're like, I keep getting closer to what I want, and every time I get closer, something happens. It gets messed up. It doesn't happen. It doesn't come. There's things in the way. I stop being consistent. I stop doing what I have to do. I stop meditating. I stop working out. I stop working on visualization. Whatever it is. Do you have limiting beliefs? Are you aware of that? If you are, say yes. If not, I'm just going to keep going, all right? Because I know there's sometimes a little delay, but I want to know. I want to know if you're aware of this, right? Hi, Jill. So basically, when we think about limiting beliefs, we think about sort of all of the things that, if you are somewhat into personal development, you understand that there was a point in time where you were a baby and you were growing up around a bunch of people that were saying things and thinking things in a certain environment, in certain circumstances. And so between 0 and 7, okay, you were literally a sponge, right? We all say babies are sponges. They really are sponges, okay? They're in a level, we were at one time in a level where we were in theta waves, and theta waves are where we get to when we're in meditation. It's your complete subconscious. It's the part of your mind and your brain that beats your heart, that moves your blood flow, that helps you break down food, that your kidneys run, your liver runs, your muscles work, your everything that we do, that we move. We don't have to think about that because our subconscious mind is in control. And it's the same thing with our limiting beliefs, okay? Everything that we heard in that state of mind, in that subconscious mind about whatever was going on in our environment, we took as our belief. We believed it. We didn't judge it. We didn't look at it. We didn't try to decide if we agreed with it or not. We just ate it up and we took it in. And now we're adults and we're still carrying some of the things that we heard that we were growing up, or that we felt when we were growing up, or that we saw when we were growing up. And so it's created this ceiling for certain things in our lives, in our careers, in our money, in our health, in our business, and relationships, because we only have this very small ceiling of what we've learned and what we believed. So when we think about that subconscious part of ourselves that we don't have control of, we don't think about, right? We have a conscious mind where we have thoughts and we can say, I'm thinking right now, I'm having conversation right now, these are the things that I'm thinking, but there's a whole underlying program in there that we're not hearing on a daily basis, but our behaviors are proving that there is something underlying there, right? Whatever it is, whatever you've heard about relationships, whatever you've heard about money, whatever you've heard about career or businesses, whatever you've heard about finances, health or wellness for yourself, right? We have all of these set points in certain areas of our lives that we believe to be true or we believe not to be true. And those things were not given, they were given to us, right? They weren't our choice. We didn't get a choice to say, I agree with that or I don't agree with that. We just accepted it. And so we went out into the world, and so the world began to prove to us that these things were true because that's what we see and we perceive, right? Are you with me thus far? Right? I feel like those of you that follow me, that are in this tribe with me, that I work with, that this is something that, even though we know, it's sometimes good to just hear again so that we're reminded that there is another part of us that is going on that's programmed. So it's not all our fault why we keep screwing up or why we can't get to where we want to go. I feel like there's two sets of people that I work with. It's either people that are really good at getting and moving and getting things in motion, and then things fall backwards, right? So maybe it's fitness and they're trying, they keep trying, they do really good for a long time, and then they fall off and they go back to the way that they were eating, or they go back to the way that they weren't exercising. Or maybe it's finances and they're doing really good and they're saving and everything is going great and they're great with money, and then they spend it all and now they're back to being broke again. And there's this cycle that keeps happening. And then there's the other type of people that never get started on anything. So they're wanting these things, they're wanting change, they're wanting things, but they're not even taking the steps. So it's either the steps are taken and then they're halted, or there's no movement at all. There's no next step to anything. Okay, so when we're in one of those two types of personalities, or one of those types of thoughts in terms of our limiting beliefs and our sabotaging thoughts and sabotaging things, we have to figure out, why can't we move forward? Why aren't we doing the things that we know we want to do, that we should do, that we could do, but when we do them for a little bit, then stop, or we don't stop at all. Okay, so I want you to think about a place in your life where you're really, really stuck, okay, where you feel like one of those two situations. You start, and then you fall. And that could be relationships. Maybe like your relationships are great and everything is good, and then all of a sudden there's a big blowout and something happens, right? There's all different points in our lives where we're moving towards things and then we might fall back. Think of that place. So is it in your health and your fitness and how you want to feel, and eating better and eating cleaner and exercising more and taking care of your body and honoring your body? Is it in your finances? Do you want to improve your finances? Do you want to see more coming in than you have going out? Are you stressed out about money? Are you stressed out about what that whole give and take is about when it comes to money? Are you struggling with relationships? Are you trying to find a lover or a spouse? Or are you already with one and it's difficult? Or are you having problems with your friends or your family, or something where there is an issue, okay? Or is it your career and business and your purpose and what you want to do in the world, and you're tired of working and you're tired of doing what you're doing, and you know that there's something bigger and you know that there's something better for you, but you just don't know how you would get there or what you would do or really what your purpose is, right? So choose, maybe whatever your situation is, choose what area of your life right now that you're going to work on a limiting belief. And when you choose that part, I want you to sit down. I want you to ask yourself, what do I believe about and whatever it is, Okay, if it's your finances, it's your health, it's whatever it is. What do I believe about money? What do I believe about being healthy or being fit or what's possible for me? What do I believe about relationships, whether it be friendships or family or obviously your spouse? What do I believe about career or business or starting my own business or being top in my field? What do I believe about those things that are possible for me? One, that are possible for me, and two, that are possible within it as a grand scope. Okay, because when you look at the situation, you have to become someone, this is for next week, you have to become someone different to start getting to where you want to go. Okay, so choose that space, and I want you to ask yourself that. Okay, what do I have to believe? Okay, what do I already believe about this situation? What do I believe about myself in this situation? The second question you're going to ask yourself, where did I get this belief from? You've got to go back. You've got to start winding down, and it sounds very, psychiatrist, psychological evaluation, but going back to your childhood, going back to what you've seen, going back to what you heard, going back to what was the idea, what were people saying around you about those things? What were you seeing about those things that were happening around you? What was your circumstances? And even now, what are some of the things that people say to you? Let's say when you talk about the thing that you're struggling, what are they saying? Yeah, it's really difficult at your age to meet somebody. Oh, that's not really going to happen. Oh, you can't just chase your dreams. You got to pay bills. Oh, you can't get fit. What? You've been like this your whole life. You can't get healthy now all of a sudden. Oh, you've always been broke. You've always had a problem with money. You're never going to change, right? So these things that we hear when we were younger and these things that we hear now, these are where these beliefs are coming from. So where are they coming from? Who is telling you them? Where did you hear them? What has been told? Because you can have a conscious thought. You can be, and I did this video on affirmations a few weeks ago, and this is what was so important. You can sit there all day and say, I'm a millionaire, or I have the love of my life, or I have a fit body. But if there's not feeling in that, if there's not a belief in that, if there's not emotion in that, you're never going to be driven to that change that will happen in your behavior because of the way you're thinking to that type of life. Okay, so the last one, what do I have to believe? What would I have to believe? How can I change this belief into something that aligns with where I'm trying to go, or where I'm trying to align up with, or what I'm trying to attract into my life, or whatever expansion that you're trying to make? You have to find this place where you can say, okay, what would I have to believe? What would my subconscious mind have to truly believe about the situation in order to drive me to feel okay in this situation? And that's more for next week. That's more on fear and your self-sabotage and why you're not starting things and why you're not doing things. And it takes work, guys. It takes work. It's not just an answer the question, put the paper to the side, and not look at it again, right? If you really start to think, okay, well, what are the repercussions if this doesn't change in my life? What are the negative things that are going to happen if I don't start changing, right? Because we're driven by pain or pleasure. So right now the brain doesn't want to do certain things because it sees more fear in doing it than it sees it in not doing it. Okay, so once you can sort of see that fear and that fear comes up and you could say, okay, well, I'm going to change why I'm scared. I'm scared because if I don't get healthy, I could, God forbid, have a stroke and I'm going to leave my kids and my grandkids. I want to have a healthy marriage because I want my kids and me and everybody to be happy. I want to have finances so that I'm free, so that I can travel more, so that I can do things. It's scary to think that this is going to be my life for the rest of my life, right? Go through this, my career. Maybe you're really unhappy with your job. Like, I just can't do this. I can't do this another 10 years. I need a change. It's harder for me to stay than it is to leave. Okay, so figure it out, have that conversation of what does this mean for me? What does this mean for me? What does that mean for me? You've got to go deep into it. If you don't change and things don't start to improve, what are the repercussions for that? So what would you have to believe instead? Okay, that it's okay to go out and start your own business, or it's okay to change your career. It's okay to go back to school. It's okay to whatever beliefs that you have. It's okay to, change the situation with your body. It's okay to get fit and get healthy and not have fears that you're going to go back to the way you were again. So you don't even start, right? There's all these like underlying things. And when I work with people and I'm hearing these things, everyone is carrying a lot of the same because we're all in the same consciousness, right? So if we start to change the way we act and the behaviors and the things that we do because of the ways that we're thinking, and changing our limiting beliefs and changing the way that we think about things, that's going to trickle on over into our lives, into everyone around us, and then real change can start to happen. And that's the goal here, right? It's to come together and to work on ourselves and to figure out, how can I be a better person? How can I show up better in my life? How can I give more? How can I have more? How can I live a life of flow and ease and consistency and happiness and joy and self-worth within myself, right? And a lot of these limiting beliefs, they're coming from those lacks and not feeling worthy and not feeling like enough and not feeling like, that things are possible, right? Everything is possible. If someone else has done it, you can do it. Like that's it, right? That's just the way it goes. If someone else is capable, you are capable too. There's nothing in the way of that besides yourself and ourselves. Yandina, hello. Sylvia, Laura, very aware. Yeah, and awareness is honestly, and I did video on awareness, like once you can start to, and we'll talk more about this next week, but once you can start to catch what your limiting beliefs are, and you can start to pull them out, and it does take meditation, and it does take time, and it does take energy, and it does take a real sense of wanting to change things, right? If you don't want to change things, then it's going to be very, very difficult to say, I'm going to do this anyway, right? And that's next week, because there's things that there's questions you have to ask in yourself, and things that you have to really think about, right? There's so many reasons why people start things and fall back, or how to, can't stay consistent, and consistency and discipline is everything. It's everything in your fitness. It's everything in your finances. It's everything in your relationships. It's everything in your career, right? If you're not consistently holding up to a certain standard for yourself and doing certain things consistently, then our lives are stagnant. They're stuck in certain areas. So if we can pull the limiting beliefs out and figure out, like, why do I keep stopping myself? Why do I keep preventing myself? Why do I keep falling backwards? Why do I take 2 steps forward and 5 steps back? Why can't I take a step forward at all? Got to figure that out. We got to get in there. Okay. So that's your homework between now and next week. I want you to go in deep, figure out what area of your life that you're really struggling with. Okay. Ask yourself, what do I believe about this situation? What do I believe about myself in this situation? That's number 1. Number 2, where did I get these beliefs? Where did I pick this up, that this was this way or that was that way or whatever? I grew up because very low income and just not a lot. We didn't have a lot, and that's it. We weren't, I wasn't getting what everybody else was getting. My mom was on food stamps and welfare and all of these things. And so my belief was always in my head, right? And even when I would be at like the welfare office and all this stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but even very young would be, I don't want to ever have to ask anybody for money. I don't want to ever have to go to somebody and say, give me this because I need it, because I'm struggling. I don't want to struggle. But then at the same time, and we're all poisoned with this too, right? So you hear this thing that people that have money that are successful are greedy, and they're icky, and they did something really negative to get where they are, and and that's not always true. And I can tell you this because I've been to workshops and I've been to seminars, and I go to things that these are very successful people, and they're the nicest people ever. They're willing to share what's working for them. They're willing to help other people. In fact, that's their passion. That's their goal. And so it's changed the way that I look at rich people, right? Or what we get fed in the media and all these things of greed and greed and greed, because I'm in a different place where I'm looking at a different kind of idea of that. So that's just an example of sort of some beliefs that I had to go back with my money story and things in my life. Like, where did I learn that this was a bad thing? Where did I learn that this was a good thing, right? We've got to kind of go through all those things and go back to our childhood and what we were hearing and what we were learning and what we were seeing, right? Were you always being told, we can't afford that, that's too expensive, we can't do that? Were you hearing your parents fight, right? I'm just talking about money, as money seems to be recently what people have been reaching out to me for, and just sort of figuring out, just getting more in life and having more and feeling more freedom. Because everyone, the consciousness right now does feel very strapped, right? We're under a lot of pressure and debt and finances are usually affecting everything else, right? What is possible. So that's why I bring up finances. So I know it's a little tricky with that, but I'm bringing it up because that's what people have been asking me about. So that's it. So I hope that sit down with these questions, okay? Sit down with them. Go within, take your time. Don't do it while the TV's on. Don't do it while the kids are playing. Like, go into a space, go into a space where you can start to really look at where these limiting beliefs came from, what they are in that area of your life, and what you would have to believe. What would you have to change about what you're thinking in order to start to see that movement in your subconscious mind and that part that you don't control that you need to change. And next week, we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into self-sabotage. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to see, right at the end, I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit that. So that's it. So I love you all. Do your homework, catch up, share this if you feel like this will help people in your life, and you got a tribe and I got a tribe, and let's bring all our tribes together and just get better and better and better. So if you like this, it helps you, share it. Share it with everyone you know, and you never know who it'll touch and who it'll inspire, and that's what this is all about. All right, we got to rise up, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, I love my ladies. So that's it. I love you all. Let's get better. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. I gotta go watch This Is Us from yesterday. Can't wait. Bye.